To show you to open. It's very unique. We've never done this before.
Go ahead.
You
play
ready?
Video.
Go ahead.
Yes. All right.
Has been on the receiving end so many times before.
No.
The most unlikely of goals you will ever see.
All right. So did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right. So that's poor Haiti's goalkeeper.
Okay.
That happened. They needed to not lose that game, and they
Would
lost
you consider
the game.
him Haitian?
He is a Haitian of Haitian descent.
Okay. Got it.
Right?
Okay.
I think that's how you say it. That's all I wanted to show you. Okay, actually, no, I had a question for you. Do you have a sports memory throughout every time you ever played sports where you did something like that boneheaded? Does anything stand out?
Yeah, when my coaches thought that I would be an effective forward, I basically planted because I'm right-footed with my left foot, and then I kicked my left foot instead of the ball. So I did that, and then I ended up being a defender for the rest of my career, and I was pretty okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny though.
Yeah.
I just got hurt a lot, so that didn't really do anything embarrassing per se. I just hurt myself.
I mean, you're still taking balls off the chest every Tuesday night?
Wednesday night, yeah. The Spokenite Brewing is champions of spring softball 2019.
Nice.
We'll see what happens this summer. Summer season kicks off actually next Wednesday.
Okay. Cool.
Next Wednesday against the Has-Beens. Yeah, we're gonna destroy them. Anyway, welcome to the locker room, episode number 47. We actually had I think it was our year anniversary last week. We missed it because locker room number 2 was this week, a year ago. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have now officially made it a year. Not quite 52 episodes. What's
47 out of 52?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
53.
Not too shabby. I'm your host, Justin Reed, alongside Andrew Tenney. We are here in the Holly Mason building in the Spokane Talk studio, 6th floor, Holly Mason building. I don't know what room we're in. 706 maybe? 606? 606 is what I meant. What? 606. 602. Got it. All right, who's number 47? You got any for me?
Dude, I don't. 47 Ronin, Keanu Reeves. Nailed it.
That movie was garbage if I remember right.
Is that actually right? Was that the name of the movie?
I don't know. Pierre Desir, current Seattle Seahawk, is number 47. He's also a former Seahawk, as we have discussed. Only other famous Seahawk of all time who wore number 47 was Sherman Smith, part of Seahawks' first draft class in 1976.
Yeah, no.
He was also the running backs coach when Seattle won their first Super Bowl in 2013. Mariners actually have had a couple number 47s. Currently, it's Rafael Montero, and he is currently 7 for 14 in save opportunities. he has 7 saves, and he's blown 7. not great odds. Not great odds. And Ron Vallone, the Minister of Magic.
Yes.
That actually wasn't his nickname, but his nickname was Suitcase Vallone because he was always on a different team, it seemed like.
Okay.
So that was kind of a fun fact. So that one, actually, my buddy Tim, I heard his favorite number is 47.
That's a really unfortunate number to have as your favorite.
I'm just making that up.
Oh.
What's your favorite number?
I have a few. I have one for every decade of numbers. So 22 is my favorite in the 20s, 43 is my favorite in the 40s, and 33 is my favorite in the 30s.
Fair enough.
Few examples.
So we have all sorts of NFL stuff to go over today. The Seahawks are in training camp right now.
It's mini.
Mini then training.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think Pete Carroll, after watching him run around the field, I think he would win the whitest sneaker Dundee Award, probably, right? I mean, he has to. Running around with those nice what Nikes are those?
They're not Nikes, they're New Balances.
New Balances. Which New Balances are they? Don't they have a name a pretty famous
Grandpa Force
Air?
Ones?
Yeah, I think they are something Force or Airs or I don't know what they are. My friend Tim doesn't really care for the Seahawks. He's a more college football guy.
Disgusting.
Right? So that's are the Cougs your favorite college football team?
Absolutely not. No, I'm not a Cougs fan. Stanford. Dude, I got to.
Oh, right. That's right. I knew that.
Yep.
That's my mistake. Oh, so you a big McCaffrey guy?
Yeah. Actually, so I met this guy the other day, and his
Christian
name is
McCaffrey?
No. Well, basically, his name is Gerhard, and the reference he threw out, he's like, "Hey, you know Toby?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do know Toby Gerhard." It was just weird that somebody led "Hey, my name is Toby Gerhard."
He walked up to you and said, "Hey, my name, do you know Gerhard?"
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, what's your name?" I said, "Andrew." He's like, "Damn." And I was like, what's your name? And he's like,
Yeah, that guy's a
Gerhard.
psychopath.
No, he's really cool.
He may have been the reason why a body was found in the Spokane River. Not surprising. Would not be surprising at all. How long is Pete Carroll going to be coach of the Seattle Seahawks?
Too long. Probably another 4 to 5 years.
You're a Pete Carroll hater, I think.
I'm over it. Yeah.
So I think we may have talked about this a little bit. You would like to see Pete Carroll get moved on from.
Yeah. He's been there too long.
How mad would you be if he
in any profession, you should not be there any longer than 10 years. 10 years, time to move on. Change of scenery, change of environment, change of life.
Yeah, I hate
complacency sets in.
I hate Mark Few.
You lose. Well, I mean, there are exceptions.
But I hated Roy Williams, Coach K.
Yeah,
Don Shula,
I don't really like
Lombardi.
Coach K. I could get on that.
Yeah, but these guys were really bad. I mean, they all got complacent.
Yes, they would all be at the top of my not good list as well.
Right. Pete Carroll is 69 years old this year. Nice. But there are reports that he might be coaching until he's like 77.
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
I think this year's going to go well.
It could. I mean, we have a stacked division per usual.
As always, as all of our seems to be all of our sports teams.
Every coaching staff except for maybe the Cardinals is better than ours, so that's not great.
What? You think so?
Oh, yeah. The 49ers and the Rams definitely have better coaching staffs.
They just have young guns. That's it.
No, I think they have smarter guns.
Shane
that
Waldron's
happen to be young.
our new OC. He's a Sean McVay disciple. He's also...
You know who else is a Sean McVay disciple because they breathe the same air for 30 seconds? Zach Taylor. Would you endorse Zach Taylor as your next head coach? Oh, yeah. Sure.
Big Zach Taylor guy.
Do you know who Zach? Oh, okay. Some people are literally like, no, who is that guy?
Yeah, I know. Who's Zach Taylor, former NFL running back, Zach Taylor. Nice. I think they're going to do very fine.
Zach Stacy.
Yeah, I know. I just was making up a name.
Okay.
I was making up a name.
All right.
Sorry, my bad. My bad.
We are
dude.
so off the rails, but that's no surprise.
We are just fine. We didn't really talk too much. We mentioned Julio to the Titans last week, but we didn't really talk about how he's going to do there.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Would you draft him fantasy before the 7th round? In or before?
No.
10
After.
or before?
Yeah, I do 10.
Right around 10?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably fair.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the number one wide receiver. He is probably, he's arguably the 4th most important fantasy player on that roster. Arguably.
Yep.
He's far and away the 3rd. There's no doubt about it. Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown are 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. And I think you have a strong debate with Ryan Tannehill as who's the number 4 guy on that roster, or for fantasy purposes at least. I hate that he's number 2. I hate these roster things. Seeing him, actually, we have a photo. Can we see the photo of Julio? I think I gave that to you guys. I'd like to see what he looks like. Like that just looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
He looks like a practice squad guy.
Did you hear his reasoning too for being number 2? Because 2 times 11, A.J. Brown is 22, who is Derrick Henry. I was like, okay, so I'm glad that grown adults still think the way that I did.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess I see the logic. And I'd be lying if I didn't, do that sometimes with superstitious stuff.
Right.
But I thought he was going to go back to 8 because I was pretty sure he was 8 when he was at Alabama.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, do you remember he used to have dreads when he first entered the league?
I do.
I saw highlights the other day and I was like, holy hell.
Dreads make players look slower. Earl Thomas became a new player when he cut his dreads for Seattle. Like he looked faster on the field.
Fair.
Same with Marshawn. Like when Marshawn had dreads, he still had the quickness, but like he looked faster and more agile without his dreads.
Hey, can I interject for a second?
Oh yeah.
I want to tell you about something. The show, you heard of it?
The show?
Like this one that we're on right now, hosting. Yeah, you know who it's sponsored by?
Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me.
Lucky Bird, a Spokane-based e-commerce and digital marketing company dedicated to helping local companies scale in the online world of e-commerce and digital marketing. Visit luckybirdbrands.com to have a down-to-earth, no-pressure conversation about your digital marketing and e-commerce strategies today.
Thanks. I do appreciate that. I do occasionally forget about Lucky Bird, but that does not measure the amount of love I have for them. You know that?
Yeah. Well, we're just living in a state of chaos, right?
I just became Spokane Talks' top fans again. This is now the third week in a row. I just want to make that very clear. I am now, for the third week in a row, recognized as a top fan for Spokane Talks.
I can't blame you.
Big Spokane Talks guy. All right, Madden 22 got announced yesterday.
Disgusting.
We're gonna stick.
Disgusting. How long do you think it took them to come up with that cover photo? What the hell? You add some triangles. You take a picture of them sitting in the sun, and dude. So bad. Why does anybody buy this game? Why do you play this game? Why do you give EA your money?
It's the MVP edition, man.
Okay, then why isn't Aaron Rodgers on the cover? That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
I agree. Dude,
so stupid. So bad. Such a bad game.
And I will always stand behind this. I think Mahomes in the pop culture public sphere is slightly overrated. And what I mean by that are people absolutely put him on this pedestal as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. It's like, dude, this guy's been a quarterback for 3 years.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I understand.
He's thrown a football in the National Football League for 3 seasons.
Correct.
Like let's pump the. They're comparing
everybody's
the guy
just
to
projecting.
Tom Brady.
Everybody's just extrapolating what we've seen of him within his first 3 years.
Right.
And yeah, just projecting.
I'll do the same thing. Jared Kelnick's gonna be the worst player in MLB history. He's never gonna get a hit. Like that's the reverse.
Yeah, but that's probably accurate, though.
That actually ties in perfectly to what we're about to talk with, actually. I play Madden with my buddy Tim, and I destroy him every single time. I've said him now 3 times. That was a request. I do not want to say his name ever again.
Yeah, it's lackluster.
That's fine. I don't care. Oh, the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a beta name. He's probably not going to watch, but I definitely
out that guy with the name
with the name Timothy.
And now you said it 5.
Middle name. Do you want to know what it is?
Patrick.
Donald.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's okay though.
It's kind of hot.
I'll pass that along for sure. That's not what I needed. So the other big NFL news that we talked about, kind of sticking with some of the stuff that I've talked about with other people, is that it's confirmed that Andy Dalton will be the starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears Week 1.
There's no other scenario.
Confirmed. No other. God forbid Justin Fields wins the starting job.
Training camp.
God forbids. I was surprised. But I'm not either. Like, this is a very Chicago Bears-esque thing to do.
100%.
I think Andy Dalton has done a lot of work, though. He's probably won the busiest Beaver Award for how much he's probably had to study that Matt Nagy playbook. It can't be an easy playbook to understand.
Sure.
But it's Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket
Rifle.
I know, but I love that people mess up and call him the Red Rocket. It's a hilarious image for his face. I don't like that move at all. I think Justin Fields is a more exciting player. I think he fits better with what Chicago wants to do with their scheme, and it's a franchise that needs a little bit of excitement. They haven't had one at quarterback. I mean, Trubisky, I guess, because they drafted him so high, but it was very clear and apparent that he was not the answer very, very quickly.
It's just like, why would you not? And I understand maybe why you wouldn't, because you throw Justin Fields, maybe he's not ready, maybe he's not prepared, maybe he starts developing some tendencies, maybe he starts reacting to things that aren't actually happening around him because, he's scrambling in the pocket, running around for his life because the Bears' offensive line isn't that good. And then these things become instilled in him, and he's basically broken before he's even become a quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
So I understand that. However, if you did put him out there, and all of those bad things happened, then you would still be the Chicago Bears, so nothing has changed. So why not just let it fly?
Let it roll.
Let it roll, let it rip, let it fly, let it
whatever you need to do to let Justin Fields grow on the fly.
Yeah.
Worst case, like you said, it doesn't work out. I mean, wouldn't be a surprise with what's happened with the Chicago Bears organization over the last few years, but he has the weapons there.
Yeah, people are super in on Mooney.
Big Mooney guy. All right, that's enough NFL. There's not much going on in the world of the NFL right now. It's kind of slow. Jamal Adams hasn't reported, but I guess it's a family matter, so I'm not too worried about it. Doesn't help that
Chris Carson's popping out a kid, I thought.
Yeah,
well
not him.
Yeah.
If that was happening, that would be like worldwide news.
Yes.
Eventually,
Yeah.
maybe. But I'm sad as a Mariners fan, as I think they're cursed. I think they have an actual curse on them. I'm not sure who did it, but I think his name is Alex Rodriguez.
Oh.
Think about it. The last time, the Mariners were good in 2001. I'm going to pick a different person. I'm going to go to the Mariners roster in 2001, and I'm going to pick a player who I want to blame for their troubles over the last 2 decades. Whoops. Not 2021. That's not going to help me. Let's see. It's not Mike Cameron. Of course, it's not Edgar. Who do we got here? I'm going to blame Scott Pasednik was on the Mariners for a little bit.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh.
Did you see that Willie Bloomquist got a head coaching job at like Arizona State or something?
I didn't, but that's awesome. I love I love Willie.
I miss that guy. I miss Ben Broussard. I miss those like 2007, 2008 Mariners teams.
That's not.
All of their reserves were a lot more fun than their starters. That's all I got to say.
That's
except for whoever
true.
was the catcher that came in for Jojima.
I'm gonna blame John Halama, starting pitcher for the Mariners in 2001.
Yeah, sounds right.
Just because his name is so boring. Oh yeah. It is definitely his fault.
If you want to blame Alex Rodriguez, you can take a little solace in the fact that Ben Affleck is back together with J-Lo.
Yeah, snuck her right out from
public.
Right. Oh yeah, they went quick too.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty funny. Sorry, A-Rod, but he did mention that he wants Seattle to have an NBA team again. So that is like a
okay. Well, welcome to the world. Who doesn't?
Fine, dude. My bad.
No.
Yeah. Did we do anything wrong? Did the Mariners actually do something wrong? No, they're actually not cursed. But if you did they do anything wrong? Is it an organization thing? Is it an injuries thing? Is it all of the above? Is it the fans who just disappeared after they started getting bad? Or is it literally everything? Like you have to have everything combined up at once to just create the cesspool of a franchise.
I'm starting. Yeah. All right. This is what I got. I just don't think Seattle is a baseball city. It rains too much. I know this growing up and playing Little League on the west side of the state. It's basically pointless because every game gets rained out. It's just not a conducive environment for hosting or playing baseball. And I don't know. Baseball is less than progressive. And, Pacific Northwest tends to be progressive for better and worse.
Further that way.
Yes. So I just think it's a bad fit. There you go. That's my on the spot take. Bad fit. Baseball, Pacific Northwest, nope.
So is it never going to work?
It's never going to work.
They'll just never make the playoffs again.
Nope.
They will go down as a team that hasn't made the playoffs. I'll be 60 years old and be like, remember that one time the Mariners made the playoffs when I was 5?
And you'll be like, nope. I don't recall.
I do not recall anything that happened then. If you look, though, down the list at the Mariners' injuries, I mean, they lost their starting first baseman, their starting outfielder, 3 starting pitchers, including James Paxton. I mean, they've lost guys left and right. So, I mean, they've had bad luck. They're still sitting around 500, so it is what it is. But the one thing that you don't hear from the Mariners very often is whining. The Mariners don't complain about being bad. Okay. Now, baseball players in general right now are soft, especially pitchers. We talked about the foreign substance debate issue last week. God, these pitchers are just absolute babies.
Yeah, I kind of understand their position, though, because the MLB is totally throwing them under the bus, even though the MLB has been aware of this little pact or understanding or unwritten rule, whatever, that has existed for the entire existence of the game. And then it finally becomes a story. The media gets a hold of it. And then MLB is like, hey, we're going to peg this problem on the players.
I'm not interested in that, though, because, like, the players, it's not like 100% of the pitchers are throwing without sticky stuff, right?
Sure.
So why is it that the pitchers who are really good, who have the stats, are the ones who are like, I can't throw without this? Like is that a hard thing to grip? I mean, I don't know. Am I missing something? And that's without. So the MLB puts on this special like formulated mud on every single baseball before it gets used. This is before that. Like, does that feel slippery to you?
No, but I'm also not throwing it at 95 miles per hour in a strike zone or trying to paint the corner or maybe trying to bean somebody.
How come now people can't grip it?
I just don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know like I know everything inside baseball. But
I mean, the guy blamed his potential Tommy John injury on his ulnar collateral ligament getting torn on the fact that the baseball was slippery.
Look, these guys know more about throwing baseballs than anybody else that's on the planet, and so like I understand where you're coming from, and I do agree it's not a great look, especially them bitching and whining about it. However, I'm not going to completely write off the notion that there might be some validity to these claims.
Right. No, and that's fair, but the people who work in baseball, as in like the organization of MLB, include former players, though, and they were like, yeah, nope, let's do it. Like, I know Ibanez isn't a pitcher, but Raul Ibanez is like, he's like high up.
I ever tell you that's my favorite Mariner of all time?
I love me some Raul Ibanez. He was at the Mariners like 5 separate times.
I
He got cut multiple times. And he came out and said, like, we've done the research on this. We've been looking at this for a while, and the amount of, like, there's no correlation between a stickier baseball and a not sticky baseball compared to, like, how the controllability of a ball. Like, there's been more hit by pitches this season than there has been in history, and there's more stuff on the balls than there has been in history. It's like, I just don't know where this correlation between less control compared to more control with more sticky stuff. I think
and I don't either. And I'm not going to pretend to know just because baseball is a laughingstock. It's a joke. I don't even think baseball knows. Like, to try to speculate any sort of correlation or thread that goes on in any subject within the topic of baseball, I think it's silly because baseball doesn't know any. I don't know. I understand. Yeah, like, stop complaining, but
you're looking a lot like NBA players.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes in general right now, for sure. Speaking of whiners, people are mad that LaMelo Ball won Rookie of the Year.
Why?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Now, if you play devil's advocate here, if I could speak for once in my life, he was the best player for sure. I think Anthony Edwards, though, had a strong case because he finished the year better off.
Anthony Edwards was on an awful team in which he was able to take almost 30 shots a game. I would check the box scores every night that the Wolves played. He'd be in the mid-20s. He put up good numbers, and his efficiency did get better toward the end of the season. He definitely progressed, which that's all you can hope from a rookie, especially a number 1 overall pick. But he did not have the impact on winning because Charlotte was competitive in the East when nobody thought that they were going to be, and LaMelo Ball was a huge part of that. So I understand the counter argument. However, I think it's still weak and not the right opinion.
Paul averaged 15.5 points a game, almost 6 rebounds and 6 assists, and almost 2 steals a game. He was the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double with 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists in just his 10th career game on January 9th against the Hawks. I 100% agree. Again, Anthony Edwards, he averaged almost 24 points after the All-Star break, so he definitely was peaking, which is, like you said, what you want to see. I just didn't understand the backlash against Ball. Believe me, if there was somebody who, like, I would love to be like, no, there's no way a Ball deserved to win Rookie of the Year. I would have loved to make that argument, but it's not there.
No, it's not.
It's not there at all. Now, the player I'm going to disagree with here is LeBron, as usual.
Yeah, if anybody listens or watches the show on any regularity, LeBron comes up every episode. It's always in disparaging
he just somehow
fashion.
finds a way into the
No,
headlines.
he really does. No, he earns it. He warrants all this conversation that you and I have about him 100%.
So he had this long Twitter thread. Excuse me. He had this long Twitter thread essentially blaming the NBA for all of the injuries to the top players in the league. Now, there was a quicker turnaround between last season's Orlando shortened season and this year. But more so than ever, top NBA players have their loads managed.
Yeah, stop.
So I don't understand where, like, that argument just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, and the Players Association, this was a joint decision. Right. The NBA and the NBA Players Association came to this agreement because of the circumstances that the nation and the world found themselves in with the pandemic. And guess what? They would have lost a ton of money. The players, their salaries, and LeBron, as we know, when Daryl Morey tweeted that very true and relevant thing about China and the concentration camps or whatever, LeBron said, hey, stay out of other people's pockets. So if they would have given up games on the season and lost those salaries and lost some good, not omens, good rapport with their TV partners.
Right, yeah.
That would have been massive amounts of money coming out of LeBron's pocket. I mean, he's a really simple-minded dude. Not on the basketball court. In life, he just looks at what's in front of him, and he's like, here's a take that I have. Here's a feeling that I have. He seems completely devoid of any capability of stepping back and considering all the moving pieces in a situation.
It's all emotional.
Except for on a basketball court, which good on you. But anyway, so yeah, really, really, really stupid thing to say.
And I get it. The NBA playoffs, I think this is the most All-Stars have ever missed in a playoff series or playoff year in NBA history. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, what do you want the NBA to do?
Right.
Like, there's nothing they could have done. Again, players took off more time than they ever had, and they have the best training, the best medical teams in the world working on these athletes, and nobody else other than LeBron James is like, we didn't have enough time to have a break.
And it's just plain and simple making the best of a bad situation that everybody's had to deal with. And so, yeah, it sucks. A lot of people's lives still kind of suck. A lot of inconveniences are happening in all walks of life and all occupations. And
hurt my hamstring.
This just happens to be yours. Not that he came out and cited his injury as something that he was bitching about, but like, dude, a lot of them are also freak injuries that didn't really have. I mean, there's a lot of soft tissue stuff that we're seeing, and that's fair. That's valid, and I understand that. But there are also just a lot of rolled ankles or incidental things that are like, bones breaking. Dude's an idiot.
That's not great. So let's do a quick little NHL playoff update. It's actually getting really fun. It's actually getting really interesting. Both series are at 1-1. Islanders and Lightning and the Canadiens and the Golden Knights. Since you pointed out the spelling of Canadians, it's terrible. I hope they never win a game ever again. So thanks for that. And
got it.
Pick your NHL Finals teams.
I kind of want the Islanders just because the Lightning already did it. Also, the Lightning had the most or the least inspiring logo and uniform colors. So give me the Islanders and give me the Knights.
We go Knights and Lightning, and I think the Lightning are going to go back-to-back.
Okay, also, from what I understood, the Canadiens were not even supposed to be able to, win a game, and they just did. So I don't know what to think about hockey anymore.
Whose
goalie's hot?
They snuck right. They
Whose
both. Which goalie is more attractive?
Right.
Those are some of the best goalies in the league. Most decorated playoff goalies too. They both have. I think actually the Canadiens goalie
it's Price
has had I
forget his first name,
success.
But he definitely
in a shorter amount of time.
He had a run there. Was he the Kings goalie?
I don't think so, but I don't know. Would you like me to find out?
This is why we don't talk about hockey.
Right, I know, and I definitely feel more comfortable about it, but not to the point where I can tell you where all these players are from. He has played for the Canadiens his entire NHL career. 2007 to the present.
Have a brother?
He played for the Tri-City Americans. Interesting.
Whoa.
That's good to know. No wonder why I don't like him. Does he have a brother? I don't know. Maybe.
There was another. Anyway.
Maybe would you like me to look at his personal life here?
Could be thinking
he met his wife Angela while playing for the Tri-City Americans. They were signed in British Columbia. They were married in Benton City. I don't know where that's at, but Benton City. Their kid's name is Liv and Millie, and a boy named Lincoln. You're welcome. No, he does not have a brother that I can see.
All right.
So I think that continues tonight. I'll be excited to watch. Literally, like, the amount of aggression that hockey players have against each other, especially in the playoffs, is actually fascinating. I mean, it's just constant. Like, I want to fight you. Like, please let me fight you. I would love to just punch you in the face. No other sport is like that.
No, it's great.
It's absolutely insane. So yeah, actually, the Golden Knights play tomorrow, so I think they should play tonight. Yeah, Lightning Islanders tonight. NBC, that'll be fun. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs, but I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't really have to.
They're boring. Everybody's hurt, which I know we just talked about, like, not being a problem. But, like, literally everybody's hurt, and
I know
things are happening that shouldn't really be happening. Like, the Jazz are losing.
Playoff P just rectified all of the negative connotations
he answered
to that name. Yeah,
right. That was a big game. That was a huge game. Now, they're up 3-2 on the Jazz, right?
Yeah, they really are.
Oh God, that would be.
I know. I just want the Suns and, like, take Chris Paul. If he's vaccinated, why is he even in the health and safety protocols? I don't know if he's vaccinated.
I don't know.
I'm also not going to ask him because I'm not a douchebag. But, like,
I'll ask Google.
I just want the Suns. That's all I want. I want the Suns and I want the Nets because then you can have, like, a very cut and dry good versus evil. And then you can cheer for the good and watch evil win. It'll be great. It'll be classic.
A guy who writes for the Mercury News here. His name is Paul. No, it's not. His name is Dieter Kurtenbach. Dieter Kurtenbach said there's no good excuse for pro athletes to be unvaccinated against COVID. No good excuse.
So I don't know if him being put into the health and safety protocols means and indicates that he has not been vaccinated.
You could still get it, I guess, right?
Well, of course you can, because they're
when you're vaccinated.
80,
well, there's multiple
85%.
variants.
Yeah, sure.
So I think that's why. I mean, he easily could be vaccinated and still have it, I guess. I don't know. Let him play.
Right. Yep.
Let him play.
Nobody's going to die.
I
I
guarantee you he's not the first star to be tested positive and was allowed to play.
Yeah.
I'd almost guarantee that, especially this season. Maybe last year, maybe not, but I think this year, I think it's probably happened. Just because I want to.
Yeah.
Raise
I mean, honestly, it's kind of crazy, especially yesterday, and then more news came in today. But the off the court stuff has been a little bit more compelling in the NBA than the recent playoff games. I mean, there was actually a good game last night between the Jazz and Clippers. That was competitive through and through. But Rick Carlisle has resigned after 13 years with the Dallas Mavericks. So he's
a day after,
yeah,
step down.
Donnie Nelson, see you later.
Right, which is really crazy because that's an organization with strong leadership, a very intrusive leadership, one who's very involved in Mark Cuban. But again, an organization you just don't see a lot of turnover in.
So now, in addition to Chauncey Billups, I will be accepting Rick Carlisle's resume as a Boston Celtics fan.
I saw some people talking about who did I just see? Someone big. That's really unfortunate. Anyway, yes, there's a huge coaching carousel right now.
Yeah,
huge carousel where people are going
Stan Van Gundy,
John
fired.
Calipari.
Oh, yeah, I want to get back in the NBA. Yeah, I'd be down.
I'd be surprised, but I also wouldn't.
That
seems a very 50-50 chance to me because his Kentucky teams haven't been great the last couple of years.
Could he be the next Urban Meyer?
He could potentially.
I literally mean that only in making the jump to the professional.
The only comparison you had for me?
Yeah. Dude, I've been up since 3.
That's true. I have not. I've been up since 8.
The show is loony in part because of that, but also...
That's fair. The last question I have for you today, does golf need more rivalries like the Bryson DeChambeau and
Bryson and Brooksy, and then Koepka.
Nice.
Bryson's such a little bitch.
Appears you don't like DeChambeau.
It needs that. They should have paired them up for the U.S. Open.
That was
Yeah, no, 100%. And for the hoity-toity, snooty golf fans that's like, hey, if you do that, I don't want the sort of fandom that attracts. Literally, the NFL is probably the only professional sports organization that can look at fans and be like, we're good without you.
We don't.
That can be
you.
A little exclusive with who they permit into the fraternity. Every other professional sport needs all the fans that it can get. So don't shake a stick at these fans that want to see. I mean, it's great. The fact that you have the crowds when Bryson is up teeing, saying, let's go, Brooksy, just trolling him, and then Bryson and his agent or his PR person or whoever the hell talks to the PGA cries and complains and says, stop it, this is bullying. That's not bullying. Nobody's saying anything disparaging. Nobody's being mean. People are just calling him Brooksy.
Do you know what's bullying that these professional athletes are doing? They're bullying the poor fans of America. I didn't realize they all have green books that tell you that break down the draws at all these courses.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. And I saw McElroy came out and he said, these should be illegal. I use them, but nobody should be allowed to use them. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, that seems like...
There's so much inside golf.
It's dumb.
People say inside baseball. There's a lot of inside golf.
Yeah, there is. There is Masters baseball. Oh, my God. Golf is boring still. I watch the Masters, but they need more rivalries. They need more villains. That's the best part about DeChambeau, though. Like, they need more of him, too. Like, they need more of both. Like, they need more people to hate. They need – because what? Is it Patrick Reed? People don't like him either, right?
No, they do not. He's a cheater. And he's Australian.
The reason why I know that is because he has my last name, and I always I want him to do well. And they're like, you like Patrick Reed? And I'm like, okay, I guess I shouldn't. My bad. Sorry.
No, you're not supposed to.
Yeah, okay. I learned that one real quick. I'm going to stick with bashing on the NBA here for my jabroni because they embarrassed themselves once again, as they always do, with a horrid ejection of the league's MVP. Could you imagine if this happened to LeBron?
I think I'm going to end up pushing back on this a little bit, but continue.
Really? All right.
Continue.
Let's play the video through and let's see what you think.
Here's the foul here in the swipe. We got all ball. I'm sure they'll look at this. But there is kind of a windup and hits him on the shoulder.
The windup is the...
Yeah, that's the windup right there. Oh, yeah, he definitely got him in the face. Absolutely, across the nose. Something like
his poor face. His poor little face that got brushed on.
I think that actually probably hurt. For the record, anything bridge in the nose, you could flick me in the bridge in my
That guy was, he was down for like 5 minutes.
I start watering. Anyway,
that's fine. That's 100% fine.
Okay. Here's what I will
Ejection?
say. No. But
flagrant.
But in today's NBA, and with these officials who are more impressionable than they have ever been in the existence of the league, I am not surprised that happened. Also, I would say it's like a flagrant 1.5. The windup in the way in which he cocked back his arm was aggressive.
Well, he was trying to get the ball.
He was trying to get the ball, and he did get the ball.
Have you ever heard of hustle?
And he was looking at the ball the entire time. He did not stray from what he was trying to do. However, that cock back was something else, if I do say so myself.
Right.
I know if you think about cockbacks. So with that said, it's not the worst thing that I've seen on an NBA court in terms of officiating or calls.
Oh, it's definitely not the worst. The fact that there's worse calls is the embarrassing part, because like this.
Right.
I mean, really though, imagine, would LeBron have been kicked out of that game?
No.
Would literally almost any other league MVP get kicked out of that game? Probably not.
No, but he's foreign and he's white, so he doesn't
foreign.
have the same relevance in terms of his MVP season.
He's the first center in 20 years to win it. Like, he's literally the complete opposite of what we know as a league MVP.
He's the antithesis of an NBA superstar.
Right. And people aren't happy about that. I think people want to not like him.
Well, people think he's lame. People think he's boring. People think he's undeserving, and that it's bad for the game if somebody like this is winning the MVP. And it's like, okay, just go ahead and show your cards, because
it's like
I know who you are.
You're the people who like these garbage highlight videos on SportsCenter's Instagram.
Right.
Like the things that aren't sports, and they're just hyping it up, like putting fire emojis and everything. It doesn't help when the other employees at ESPN are seeing these garbage highlight videos and are responding like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's like, that's a 5-year-old video of something that's not real.
Yeah, no, yeah.
The NBA referees continue to mind boggle my brain, and I don't like it. They are my
Do they boggle your mind?
They do. They boggle it left and right.
All right.
And up and down.
Okay. I believe my jabroni of the week, I think his name is Edgar, and if his name isn't Edgar, then he was referred to as Edgar in this situation. But
fair enough.
Yeah, let it roll.
Suns in 4.
Suns in 4. So
Suns in
Pardon
4.
My Take just had Suns in 4 guy on, and he explained the whole story. And so even the Denver crowd surrounding them was like, excuse my language, again, been up since 3. They're like, fuck these Nuggets fans. These guys were the perpetrators.
Right.
These guys bunch of jokes. I guess they were flashing their watches. I guess they had a couple watches on. They had a couple chains on. I guess a dude, the guy that sucker punched him, he pulled out a wad of cash and then said something to kind of like flex his status.
Typical Denver fans.
No, apparently this guy is like, because the Suns fan is a Denver native. Like, he's from Denver. And
right, that makes sense. He was
very familiar with.
Must have been at the Nuggets
Denver,
game.
and he's like, these are not Denver people. Anyway, so yeah, go Suns in 4 guy. We need more of that in our lives. We need less of the Denver fans. Don't wear an excessive amount of chains. Chains are cool, but just not an excessive amount. And don't flaunt them on people right before you sucker punch them. That's just a bad look in general. I know this because I've never worn a chain in my life. So I am
Thank God. I was going to say,
I am the go-to source.
I would need a new host if you admitted
about
that.
chains. My parking is about to expire in 5 minutes. Thank you for that notification.
So
the jabroni is
the
Edgar.
Yeah.
Dude, because he just got clobbered. And that was the most casual shellacking, too.
It's also a very hockey-like move, too. Like I'm going to grab you, and you're close to me, and I'm just going to just wallop you.
And then Suns 1-4, and then Devin Booker got the dude's contact information, sent him a signed jersey, and hooked him up with tickets for the conference finals. So, yeah, that's...
No, you love to see it.
It was great.
It's
the best video that I've seen in a while.
I'm going to go back real quick here I'm going to go back here to the NBA referee talk. Tim Brummett probably, if I had to say, is here. He's not happy with you. Your take is wrong.
Which one?
You're about getting hit in the nose, specifically. Are you kidding? Kevin Pillar got drilled in the face with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball and was on the ground 36 seconds and back in the lineup in 3 days with a broken nose and cheekbone. Can't stand it. The 80s Pistons would all go to prison if they played today. That is so true.
Wait, no, I don't disagree. But what is he disagreeing with?
I think it was the fact that you said that probably hurt pretty bad to get hit in the nose.
He got smacked with a 7-foot Serbian man's winded up forearm in the bridge of his nose.
He's kind of a chubby Serbian. He has a little bit of baby
generates
fat.
force. You see bears, they're just wearing a lot of fur. No. It would have hurt, I guarantee you. Tim.
Should he have been down?
Is this the same Tim that you referenced earlier in the show?
No.
But his name is still as uninspiring as the first Tim's? Okay, got it. Thanks for your take, Tim.
No, I agree, though. The 80s Pistons, for sure, would have definitely all go to prison.
Bill Laimbeer would have been assassinated.
It's just from the rafters. It's just some upset fan.
And I don't know if they had any foreign players on those teams, but he would have been deported if that was the case. Yeah. Anyway,
that's pretty funny. All right, you ready for my sports fact of the day?
Whoa, yeah.
I'm gonna give you 1.5. So they're both a baseball fact. This one kind of ties into something else I want to say. But what do you think the odds of being hit by a ball are in an MLB stadium?
I don't know, but I got hit by a ball. The last Mariners game I ever went to, I was hit by Matt Stairs,
really?
Toronto Blue Jay. Yeah. And then a couple Canadians that were waving Tony Kornheiser flags behind me gave me one, and they were like, "Hey, to make you feel about your broken finger, here's a Canadian flag."
Because the guy or did you miss the catch?
No, so I was eating peanuts as you do at a baseball game. My mitt was in my lap, which was a rookie mistake. I was 10 years old, whatever.
Yep. You haven't been to a Mariners game in 11 years?
Why would I? We just talked about how they're cursed.
Right? I love going to Mariners games. I don't care.
No,
I'd watch them lose 20-0.
Yeah, no, they are a waste of money. Anyway, I saved the guy behind me. I got my hand up last second because it ended up hitting him in the face, and I slowed it down and popped a blood vessel, injured my finger. No big deal.
All right.
Anyway, so the odds are pretty good for me.
Odds are 1 in 1. Odds are 1 in 300,000.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Like, imagine the amount of balls that get hit into the stands. There's a lot, but not that many. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I wanted to complain about the current state of Major League Baseball. Now, they have extended the netting not just from the dugout. That netting now runs from the dugout all the way to essentially almost the left field fence.
Like the foul pole, right?
Almost.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
There's about a 3, maybe 4.
Haven't there been conversations about? I didn't know that it happened, but I thought that this was a topic of conversation, or has been for like a few years.
Oh, it has been. Well, there have been stadiums a few years ago who actually did in fact add it, but it's been like spreading. I think almost all of them have that now. I think that is 1, soft / beta, and 2, ridiculous.
So I can say this, but I do think that it should be on the fans to be responsible and accountable for whether they're hit or not. Like, you have to be paying attention.
It says that on your ticket. It says that on the stands.
No, I agree.
And they're ruining it. Like, they're ruining the best part about sitting at a baseball game and being that close to the action was the fear of getting smoked with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to your dome piece.
Right, dead. Kevin Millar. Boom.
Yeah, don't even care. So I just wanted to complain there, but my actual fact that I had no idea, and I couldn't find an image because it's so long ago. In 1859, umpires sat behind home plate in rocking chairs. Isn't that the most ridiculous image you could imagine? Like, imagine umpires today. Literally, these aren't rocking chairs, but sitting here like this. Strike. Safe.
But what if they were on the back end of the rock and they're different angle?
Yeah, I know it could
Can't
mess
see
up.
the strike zone.
That's probably why they had to change it, because there's just not enough consistency. So yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. I could not find any photos. It was that long ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is something very weird.
All right.
All right. Let me hear your closing time. You don't have a media thing, so.
Oh yeah. I think it was going to be the MLB, and now it's not. I was like, I'm going to do a toss-up when it came to closing time, but here we are now, like 50 minutes later, and
You don't have one?
still.
That's fine.
It was going to be about the MLB and how ridiculous it is that they pin their issues that they've been a part of on their players instead of taking any.
Talk about that a little bit. Yeah.
Right, and then there was another. Yeah, no, I got nothing. What do you got?
All right, that's fine. I have it actually changed this morning. It's the same thing, but my take is going to be different. So here's a photo. Actually, it's a video. Sorry, let's play this video real quick. This was Ronaldo a couple days ago after his game. He went to his press conference, and this is what he did.
Coca-Cola. Olá, boa tarde a todos. Queria dar as boas-vindas à conferência de imprensa da antevisão do Portugal.
So we gave the Guardian a nice little shout out there, there at the end.
Good luck with our support.
Right. So yeah, what I was going to say initially. So when this happened, everybody was talking about it. The reason why is, I guess, Coca-Cola lost like $4 billion in like market value. Like their stock prices were down after this happened. Good. So like CNN, Bleacher Report, a bunch of huge news corporations started talking about it. So my question essentially was going to be, and I'll still ask this to you: do sponsorships and promotions, athlete promotions, or anything like that, like drive you to purchase something or not purchase something? Like whenever I see, like for instance, Coca-Cola is like one of the main sponsors for March Madness, like I never am thinking like I could really use a Coca-Cola right now.
The only time that it's influenced me is when podcasters that I respect and enjoy read ads. Okay. I will admit that I've been susceptible to that.
You at least look it up.
The products that I have purchased, I have not regretted buying any of them, for the record.
Can you name two?
Bird Dogs, which I'm wearing right now. Yep. Shady Rays, which I have in my backpack over there right now, and that is two.
From what? From who?
Barstool. They're both Barstool sponsors.
So that's a great point.
But outside of that, no. Especially television ads, because the majority of them are hot garbage, and I loathe having to watch them.
Right. So. Fair enough. Okay. So essentially, the reason why I want to bring this up, so this was going to be essentially the extent of my closing time, was saying, like, how crazy is it Ronaldo having with his, like, 40 million Instagram followers, like most in the world, like, he has this big of an impact. And literally every single news corporation ran with this story, like, Ronaldo moved the Coke off of his table, and Coca-Cola lost $4 billion in market value. I found out this morning that had nothing to do with it. The markets were already closed because this happened in Europe, and it was like it was way past closing time of the markets, had nothing to do with it. So this completely like manufactured news story was essentially that, literally had nothing to do with anything.
A news story had nothing to do with anything. What?
As
manufactured,
as usual,
fabricated,
right? As usual, right? Tim's back. Kevin Pillar is a young example of the American warrior who does not stop playing when seriously injured because of their all-American devotion to toughness and American steadfastness. Is that more inspiring? I love Tim.
Is that more inspiring than what?
I love America.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I love America.
I have no pushback on that.
You hate America.
Okay.
That's essentially like the response here. Sorry, man. I don't make the rules. I don't make the American rules. That's true. Not my fault. So, don't fall for fake news. That actually was fake news.
Oh, okay. That's the moral of the story here.
Back to the Coca-Cola stuff. That's actual fake news.
Okay. Wow.
So don't trust it. Do it. And I got trapped. I was literally going to talk about it. I wouldn't have known unless I read the Athletics this morning. So they got me almost, but not quite. And be careful. Be careful with what you read out there.
Yeah.
Your parking's expired, and I don't care. That's the perks of having a downtown studio. We have to pay for parking now. Or you park in a diamond lot and you don't pay.
Yeah.
And you risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah. Should I go? Apply to Diamond. That sounds worth it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I will not try it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
All right. Okay. This was a really weird episode. I actually feel like I want to get drunk sometime and just watch this back because this was absolutely zany, nonsensical, and
That's
just
the best part.
derailed.
That's the best part.
Did I mention I've been up since 3?
It's been 12 hours since you opened your eyes. You're welcome. All right. That was
Can Kevin Pillar do that?
That was
Yeah,
episode number 47. He definitely can now. He has nightmares. He takes a fastball off the dome and he wakes up at 3 a.m.
It was so funny, that screenshot of him, though, being like, I'm good, and his face is just mangled. He's like, I feel good right now. Good luck. Do you like Kevin Pillar?
The young guy said I was uninspiring. I am inspiring and have a winning.
Oh, I said the name.
I am inspiring and have a winning smile and personality. How can you not like the guy?
He just won me over.
Sold.
I tip my cap. Yep.
Sold on that, Tim. Not sold on friend Tim. Done. All right. We'll see you next week, episode 48, here at the Holly Mason Building, downtown Spokane. This was The Locker Room presented by Spokane Talks. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching The Locker Room on Spokane Talks. Check us out on Facebook as well as our other platforms. We want to hear from you. Join the conversation by emailing us at info@SpokaneTalksOnline.com. And for more sports news, opinions, and content, follow Justin and me on Twitter.